Good afternoon, Glenn.
Hey there, Mark. How you doing?
Very good. How are you?
I'm all right. Pretty good, thanks.
We should probably introduce ourselves. I'm Mark Schmitt, the executive editor of the American Prospect magazine.
And I am Glenn Loury, the Merton Stoltz Professor of the Social Sciences and Professor of Economics at Brown University.
That's an excellent title. This is a little bit of a rerun of an attempt to do Blogging Heads last week that.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm a little challenged technologically.
You don't have to apologize. I don't know if you ever have this feeling, but I've certainly always found that, whenever you write something and the computer eats it and you've lost it, and after that moment of agony that you have to rewrite this thing from scratch, that second one is always a lot better.
Yeah, I had that experience of losing documents.
You almost deliberately want to lose a document occasionally. I don't know what that process of really quickly trying to recreate what you did, but we're not going to recreate.
The world moves on, and so do we.
World, exactly. Those insights will have to be lost to history. There was a good op-ed in the Times by Charles Blow the other day, or I guess he writes every Sunday or every Saturday with data.
I think it might have been on Saturday. I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah. Quick summary is that Blow, who happens to be African American and who writes regularly in the Times and often has a data-based column where he's analyzing what statistical trends or whatever it might say, but he's smart, he's hip, he's an interesting guy. Okay, that's my opinion. I don't know if you share it.
I do share it.
But in any case, the column on this particular past Saturday was, blacks, Obama and blacks. And he was saying, in so many words, that blacks are taking a double hit of disappointment during this early period in the Obama presidency. One, in virtue of the recession, which has always been the case that when unemployment rises, it rises more sharply amongst African Americans. A 2-to-1 ratio is a roughly accurate rule of thumb. Right. So we're in recession. We have high unemployment, over 10% nationwide. That's going to mean in the vicinity of 20% and upwards in some precincts of African American community. That's pretty tough blow to take. And then secondly, I'm not quite sure how to phrase it, but he's saying, if I'm reading him that correctly, that blacks have always taken it on the chin a little bit during this early period of the Obama presidency because the president has had to run away from the black community a little bit in order to preserve his political viability. But maybe you can give your take on that second point as well.
Well, I thought that it was. I thought that in a way that data allowed him to avoid being real clear about what he thought was cause and effect here.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it's just a plain fact that recessions hurt African Americans more. That's not that's a kind of built-in fact. I thought that it's and there was also, now let's also say there was an element of it that there was an element in the piece suggesting that there was actually a greater level of racism generally in society, and he used a set of examples. There's a paragraph where he says something like, it's a bad time to be a black man in America, and he uses everything from everything from Tiger Woods to Chris Brown, and then says, well, and Obama is almost like the counterpart to that, the thing that buys you, the thing that almost allows you to evade the reality that life is getting worse in many ways, not just economically, for African Americans. And he had a chart with hate crime. So there was that third element as well. Almost suggesting that Obama either prods up a greater level of racism among whites, or kind of excuses it, like, okay, we all feel good because the president's black, so everything else, anything goes otherwise.
Well, I didn't quite see